All right, so this is to finish my assessment for the phase 4 project assessment. Um, so basically, what the goal was to create a sort button on the iRemind during my live coding session. And once a user clicks this sort button, it's going to sort the lists that are within this user specific um, set of lists. And the way that I got this functional, which as you can see here, gets the job done. So if we refresh and we click it, um, it sorts the names of the specific lists in alphabetical order. And the way that I got this working was I first created this function called add sort event listener. And what this did was it went into the document, it query selected for hashtag sort or hash sort, which is the ID within here of the button. So if we go back, from there, once we get that, we're going to add an event listener that's going to listen for a click on that button. And it's going to use this method sort list. And what that does is it's going to set this sorted list equal to the list that I have defined within my list class dot all equal, or it's going to sort that, and it's going to use this method right here, which is going to iterate through first off, and it's going to take the first of what's being called on in the iteration and what comes after. And from there, it's going to check and see if the the value of the a dot name, which is the first iteration, versus b dot name, is basically just going to check and see if it's greater or if it's higher in the alphabet. If it is, it's going to return 1. If not, it's going to return -1, right? So this basically just sorts everything, okay? So once I have that sorted list figured out, it's going to go through and it's going to define this method here. And what this does is it's going to create this function called remove all child nodes. It's going to take in the parameter of a parent. In this case, it's going to be the list container that stores all of the list divs. And while there is a first child for this, so say there's 3, we run this, it's going to have 2. There's still a first child, okay, it's going to remove the second one. There's still a first child, there's 1 more, so it's going to remove that. Once that's done, this is going to have no more lists. So if we were to run a debugger right here, it would show that there's no list. But what the point of this is to sort it. So for each element within this, which is the sorted.all within the list, it's going to take that element, which is the list container dot inner HTML. It's going to call upon whatever instance of list it's on in the iteration, and it's going to render that, which defined in here. It's going to add this whole thing into that container. And as you saw, gets the job done. So yeah, that's basically it. It's just to add a sort event listener, and then to actually finish it off, you just throw this in there, once the DOM content gets loaded. But yeah, that's basically all.